When the amount of drugs you've ingested can fill up a swimming pool, you've definitely earned the title of being one of the toxic twins. In 1967, Steven Tyler and a pal made the monumental discovery that they liked doing drugs. They hatched a plan to purchase an ounce of pot for $20, divide it into 6 nickel bags, and sell 4 while keeping 2 for themselves. With how the drug was viewed at the time, this was exceptionally risky, and it almost derailed Tyler's entire life. It all came crashing down when Tyler got a call from his mother informing him police were searching their home. In his autobiography, Steven Tyler, Does the Noise in My Head Bother You?, he touched on this moment in his life, writing, "Uh-oh, they found my stash so cunningly concealed in a copy of the Hardy Boys and the Disappearing Floor." His mother ordered him to get home immediately, where he was arrested. He managed to dodge jail time by receiving a probationary sentence, but his criminal record actually helped him dodge something else as well. The 4 misdemeanors he'd pled guilty to placed a youthful offender designation on his draft card, or as Tyler summed up the good fortune in his book, "No f***ing Vietnam for me." Steven Tyler and guitarist Joe Perry partied so hard that the duo actually earned themselves a nickname. Known as the Toxic Twins, the pair fully earned their notorious moniker, with bass player Tom Hamilton telling NME, "I remember one show when we got 3 songs in and Steven lost consciousness for one reason or another. We just got high back then. It was a way of life." Tyler once estimated that he'd spent more than $5 million on cocaine. He offered a more illustrative example during an interview with Classic Rock, saying, "A swimming pool filled to the top with blow would be about right."
By the time the 80s hit, I was just full-blown doing stuff that...
Are you surprised you're alive?
Yeah, I am.
Tyler told GQ in 2019 that since getting sober, he'd come to realize the substances he had once relied upon to foster creativity and open up his mind ultimately took more than they gave. He said, "What happens with using is, it works in the beginning, but it doesn't work in the end. It takes you down. There's nothing but jail, insanity, or death." Sex, drugs, rock and roll, and explosions? During a 1977 Aerosmith show in Philadelphia, one of the attendees was either so angered, or maybe so amped up, by the show that they decided to toss an M80 at the band as they came back on stage for their encore. Guitarist Brad Whitford later told Goldmine, "I felt a concussion of the cherry bomb going off. Steven immediately covered his face and there was blood shooting up out of Joe's arm, literally. So pretty quickly we got ourselves to the emergency room. The cornea in Tyler's eye was burned, but thankfully healed." Aerosmith returned to Philly the following year, but once again, someone from the city of brotherly love got a little too excited. 20 minutes into the show, a concertgoer hurled a bottle at the band, where it shattered on a monitor and sent glass shards into Tyler's face. Despite his wounds, the frontman wanted to finish the show, but his bandmates quickly overruled him and they headed for the limos. During an interview with Access Hollywood in 2006, Tyler revealed that he had hepatitis C, a viral infection that can cause long-term liver damage. The singer said he'd been diagnosed about 3 years earlier and had been treated with chemotherapy, but he kept his condition under wraps, saying, "I've had hepatitis C for a long time, asymptomatic, and I talked to my doctor, and he said now is the time, and it's 11 months of chemotherapy. So I went on that, and it about killed me." The chemo seems to have done the trick, though, and Tyler believes he's beaten the disease. He said, "It is non-existent in my bloodstream as we speak, so it's one of those few miracles in doctoring where it's like a complete cure. It's gone." A 2009 Aerosmith concert in Sturgis, South Dakota proved to be disastrous for Steven Tyler when he accidentally slipped and fell off the stage. Some in the audience didn't realize it was an accident and assumed it was part of the act and that Tyler would pop up to continue the show, but that's not what happened. Tyler's injuries were severe enough that he was airlifted to a nearby hospital, and it was later revealed that he'd suffered a broken left shoulder and required 20 stitches to close up a laceration on his head. Tyler's doctors ordered him off the road, and the band was forced to cancel its summer tour as a result. Not all of Tyler's medical ailments came as a result of an onstage incident, but the way he performed might have played a part in one that still plagues him to this day. Tyler suffers from a painful condition called Morton's neuroma, with those afflicted describing a sharp pain in the ball of the foot, like stepping on a pebble. While the precise cause of the disorder isn't known, it's likely that for Tyler, ill-fitting shoes and decades of onstage dancing contributed, he explained in an interview with Billboard. "My feet have been my best friend for the last 40 years. I've just been a dancing fool on stage, and after a while, you just kind of wear them out." In fact, he revealed that his condition played a big part in his decision to join American Idol, saying, "I took Idol and I don't have to walk around on my poor sore feet." But Tyler admitted to The Hollywood Reporter that Idol was also a way to get a break from the escalating intra-band animosity within Aerosmith, calling it something to do while the storm blew by. Tyler left the show in 2012 after 2 seasons, conceding that his experience wasn't as great as he'd hoped, although the paycheck sure was.
That was crazy good! Holy what did I say?
Before Tyler's feet sent him to judge people on Idol, they played a role in him having to go back to rehab in 2008. After 20-plus years of being sober, the singer relapsed when he was prescribed painkillers after undergoing foot surgery. He checked himself into a California rehab facility at the age of 60. He returned to rehab again in 2009. By all accounts, that stint at the Betty Ford Center ended better than his previous attempt, and Tyler reportedly remained sober for more than a decade. Speaking of the work he'd done on himself in an interview with Ott Living, the singer said, "What makes me an alcoholic is not how much I drank or how often I used, or who I did any of that with. It's what happens to me and who I become when I do. I don't like that guy."
Do you feel confident that you'll never go back to using anything?
No, that I don't.
You don't?
I keep myself honest with, I'm just a hit record away.
Unfortunately, Tyler required further foot surgery in 2022, leading to yet another relapse at 74. Appearing on the Joe Rogan Experience, Tyler explained that he learned to recognize signs he was slipping into a relapse and knew it was best to act quickly, saying, "I don't want to push it again because when I get that way, my kids don't talk to me, I get a divorce, I'm thrown out of my own band. I lose everything. I mean, it's happened enough times for me to finally realize, it's not worth it." In the middle of his time in and out of rehab, a 2011 incident had people worried that Tyler had relapsed once again. While touring in Paraguay, news emerged that Tyler had fallen in a hotel bathroom. He reportedly landed right on his face and knocked out a few teeth. Interviewed for NBC's Today, Tyler thankfully had a less intense explanation for the fall, though it still wasn't exactly pleasant. He attributed his accident to the effects of food poisoning, saying he had passed out in the shower due to, quote, Montezuma's revenge. He joked, "I took a walk with the Incas for 48 hours. I walked in looking like Baryshnikov. I walked out looking like Leon Spinks." Tyler was able to get himself fixed up before he addressed fears that he'd relapsed. He said, "I get that people think that. It still bothers me a little, but it's something that I have to deal with for the rest of my life." Steven Tyler tied the knot for the first time with Serinda Fox, though at that point he was still deep into his cocaine addiction. Despite having a child together, the couple divorced in 1987. Fox later reflected on their relationship in her 1997 tell-all Dream On, Living on the Edge with Steven Tyler and Aerosmith, writing, "Sometimes I break down and cry my eyes out over him, and sometimes I'm so consumed with loathing that I think I'm going to burst. I mean, he said publicly that when he was on drugs, he would f*** a crack in the sidewalk. For 9 years of my life, that was my husband."
I watched my mom grow up, and she was so negative, and she held so much in, and she
was still angry with him.
She's so angry.
Fox remarried in 2002 while she was in the final stages of terminal cancer, but Tyler still reportedly paid her medical bills during her last year. Meanwhile, Tyler remarried in 1988, this time to Teresa Barrick, and the couple had 2 children together before divorcing in 2005, amidst rumors that Barrick had an affair with a contractor working on their home in Boston. Tyler must have figured the third time would be the charm when he got engaged in 2011 to then-girlfriend Erin Brady, but the pair ultimately called it off 2 years later. In September 2023, Aerosmith embarked on one final concert tour, which was dubbed Peace Out, the farewell tour. But just 3 shows in, Tyler had to peace out a little earlier than intended due to damaged vocal cords. Upon further medical examination, the damage proved to be far more serious than anticipated. The band shared in a statement on Facebook, his doctors confirmed that in addition to the damage to his vocal cords, he fractured his larynx, which requires ongoing care. The rest of the tour dates were postponed while Tyler recovered, and by some accounts, he wasn't exactly the best patient. Tyler's daughter Mia told People magazine, "He's not supposed to be talking sometimes, so I have to literally yell at him and be like, 'You can't be on the phone with me right now, let's just text.' You can't shut him up, and he can't close that mouth." Whether it was further complications or Tyler's stubbornness about talking, he still hadn't bounced back by August of 2024, leading the band to issue a statement on Instagram which read, "He has spent months tirelessly working on getting his voice to where it was before his injury. We've seen him struggling despite having the best medical team by his side. Sadly, it is clear that a full recovery from his vocal injury is not possible." Not only was the postponed tour now canceled entirely, but the band also dropped a bombshell and announced that they were retiring from the touring stage. The band's longtime producer Jack Douglas told the New York Post that he anticipated the other members of Aerosmith continuing on in some fashion, but without Tyler and his distinctive voice, the band was essentially done. Douglas said, "There is no Aerosmith without Steven, so if Steven can sing, believe me, he'll want to be out there. If you or anyone you know needs help with addiction issues, help is available. Visit the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration website or contact SAMHSA's national helpline at 1-800-662-HELP 4357.